They're guys. They do magic. They are the Magic Guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Magic Guys podcast, episode 239. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Norbito, but to my left, we've got Nick K.
Hi, friends. I'm Nick K, and join us this week. We have Daddy Doug Khan.
What's up, y'all? And pardon me, you know what, guys? Before the pod, I set up this thread reel. Now I'm all tangled up in it. Let me just see if this thing works. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Yep, I am tangled as fuck.
That's our preferred.
Let me see. I got this. Needs work. We'll get back to that item.
Dude,
we'll get back to that item.
I don't think we're going to sell any of those now.
I think it's worth mentioning that we do this live and unrehearsed. We are just professionals at the top of our game, talking about all things magic, reviewing products, and interviewing very cool people. And sometimes those folks will be here in the chat. We have Tim Askin in the chat. Welcome, Tim. Good to see you there. And he's saying, where is everyone? That's true. So, friends, if you are in the chat, say hello. If you have questions, let us know what's up, because today we've had interview upon cool interview, and it's been so long since we've had, well, just a freestyle, fun, jammy kind of session. And so Daddy Doug has went and got like a whole bunch of cool toys for us to play with from Trick Supply. There's a whole basket.
I got a box full of magic.
Yeah, Gutbuster Mike, thanks for being here. So what's going to be cool, I think, about today is that we're going to be looking at some stuff that, I don't know, like some folks probably may not even know about. Right, Doug?
Even I didn't know about it until literally Saturday afternoon as I was wrapping up the shop, and I was like, "Oh crap, we got a podcast Monday about this store. Let me throw some stuff in a box." And so with that much preparation and little in between, here we are.
We did it. And some of these things, I was just looking because Doug sent us a couple of screenshots of things he might grab, and like some of the things it's so funny the rate in which we churn through stuff that comes out, and we'll sort of think about it for a second. Is this relevant to our work? And if it isn't, you kind of forget about it. And now Doug's kind of brought up some things that I haven't thought about for like a year, but the idea of maybe considering how we would use it in our work is something.
Like, what about Lubor Fiedler's Tenyo Banger from 2014, where you shove cards in your face?
What? See, this is all new to me.
Who knows about this trick? You get bonus points if you do.
Never heard of it. So, so the premise of today, you guys, is that like there are some really good magic out there, as we all know, and there's also some super obscure magic out there. And the idea of today is that we're going to do this as a creative challenge, where Doug has handpicked some absolute challenging ones to challenge both Josh and myself, and of course you guys who are part of the show as well. You know, Nick is asking, is this the magic junk drawer? Kind of not. This is more like a purposely created challenge where there's some stuff that we might have found in the past that could suck, like this Mylar flower card.
Let's be clear, there is junk in this drawer.
Correct, but
it's very similar. It's like the junk drawer of Trick Supply, perhaps. Like, not junk as in bad, but junk as in like stuff that's been to the side, hasn't had some love for a little while, you know?
Obviously, I'm trying to pick items that might be interesting. And hey, if you buy some, great.
Exactly.
All right, well,
exactly.
Okay, so I think we should do this kind of just not even looking. Reach into the basket, close your eyes, pull out a piece of crap or a good one.
No, look, we're starting with the Mylar card, because this is what started this snowball rolling.
That's
Let me
right.
reset this thing. Like I even know what's going on here.
Yeah.
And,
So
and I'm proposing now. I proposed to the owner of Trick Supply that I'm thinking of his words. He said, "Douglas, everything doesn't have to be a miracle." But the premise of this, I was going to do a series called "Magic Tricks That Shouldn't Exist," and it was this item, the card to bag. Let me present it properly. There you go. The card to Mylar spring flower bag that inspired this series. And I don't know, I randomly pulled this piece of theater out last night, and that inspired us to think today of what we could do with the weirdness that exists in Trick Supply and beyond.
All right. So
Well,
Okay, so for the listeners of the podcast, let's just be clear.
Yes.
Like, this is a very visual episode, and this is a card that is red backed. It's a 6 of clubs. You can show it all the way around, and it's perfectly flat or flat enough. Let's say that much. And then after which, it will open up into a little clear box that has a flower inside of it with a handle, not too reminiscent of the bag of nothing. And that's where my brain goes, where you can have a bag of nothing type effect.
Yeah, so you guys have probably seen this trick where they show the bag empty and then they start pulling these nonsensical other bags full of nonsensical stuff like Mylar flowers. So that's what this is, built into a playing card. We're just not sure why.
So my first thought is, could you have 2 of them, one in each hand, and do a transposition? Like, how fast could a transposition be done where you can fold the flower box back up and undo the card and have it look like they change places?
The creator of this wonderful item obviously had some foresight here. They do send you several gaffs. So it is cards to flower bags. You get, I think, 4 of them. Can you squish this flat quick enough? Probably not. It would be a slower transposition more than a visual one, but
okay.
Maybe.
Like, can it be done with one hand at all? Like, can it be opened up with one hand to hang on onto the flower?
Yeah, with some practice, assuming you'd want to spend time practicing this oddity.
Yeah. Okay, so my next thought is still in that manipulation realm. Could you have 2 of those cards back palmed, and then, like, is it possible to, instead of producing a card, you produce the flower box? Like, as you're producing it, can your thumb slip into the thing?
I love how I get to be the hand model for all your ideas. Hey, Doug, bring this to life. I'm going to ramble for 3 minutes about a method, and then if you could just do it.
Yeah,
I'm still on the one before. I figured out if I hook my finger around this card, then maybe I could open it up quickly that way. So this will allow me to do a one-hand. So I'm still on your last idea, but that's more possible now by hooking the tip of the bag. By the time we're done here, this is going to be a new Murphy's release, and we're going to have a Craig Petty linked tutorial on the cards to bag. That kind of works. Hey, got one.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like we can make this a cool hot item, you know?
I actually have an idea, and I don't know if I mentioned this last week. It's how a magician makes a Christmas ornament. So I'll come up to the Christmas tree, show the playing card, do the thing, pow, and then hang this on the tree.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm going to do with it.
You could just put a paper clip on it so that it stays flat, and then you could just flick it off with your thumb and then do the drop, and that should expand, making the little box. Yeah, because if you add a little paper clip on it at a distance, because it is a kind of B-back design that's right to the edge, that gives this really nice camouflage, if you will, for that type of thing. Yeah, and then if that was the right way, that would actually look pretty dope.
So I like the layering idea for sure. I'm trying Josh's back palm for the listeners at home. This is a pretty stiff piece of apparatus. There's not a lot of flexibility there. So, but in theory, you could produce it and then kapow it into that beautiful.
Yeah, you know what? It'd be great if. Because you got to have this. You got to have the 6 showing. If the red side was just black art, so that you could do it in between your fingers like black art and make your hand look really singular. So if that was like all black on the red side, and then you could do the production showing the face of, and then when you do the drop.
Yeah, I like black art. I mean, if your act is going to be producing Mylar card bags, black art's a good way to go with this.
Yeah. Because even if you wiped your hand over it, so it looked like a slow change, so you hold it like this, and then you just sort of do that, pull down, and then you can just remove your hand across and then show that there's a box there. That would look nuts.
I think we're going to reserve some of my physical skill sets for more lucrative ventures. Let's move on, fellas. Cards to the bag.
The last thing I'll just say.
You got a banger? What?
Not a trick, but more so like a fun, Like, I could see this being a running gag throughout your show because they're so thin. Imagine you have one in every inside pocket of your jacket or whatever.
It's like a Fig Newton, right?
Right. And every time you go in to get the next prop, it's like, oh, hang on, let me just get this out of the way, sit it down, you grab your Sharpie. Next time, oh, let me get this out of the way. It's another one to get my deck of cards. And, oh, this is in the way. Oh, let me put my cards away. Oh, I can't. There's another one. Like, that is a fun bit of shtick, throughout the show. That
can also be a transformation. You put a card in someone's pocket, or you put into something of theirs, some sort of receptacle. Then when you remove the card out, it becomes the flower bag. Card to flower bag.
Look at that, $8.95. That's a steal.
$8.95. Old school, cheap stuff. So that's what you're looking for if you're looking for that at Trick Supply.
Hell yeah, I like it. All right, we'll put it down to
We figured if we started with this, the whole show would be uphill after that.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at product number 2.
What's in here? This is actually, I don't think we talked about this. This happened to be on my desk. I just think it's a good product, essentially, for Paul Harris's Twilight routine. This is the Moon from TCC. I didn't let you guys know I was going to talk about it, but it's just a really nice mirror with a velvet back on it.
Mm-hmm.
And this allows for some really nice handling of these kind of routines where coins are hidden behind the mirror. This mirror also has a light frame on it, which allows for handling shells off the table, separating them. And so now you can do some hands-off visual splitting of the coins. And if this happens to be of interest in anyone in the world, and it is to me, because that's why I had it at home anyway, I just thought I'd share with it. It's a nice letter holder, a nice quality prop, and then a great tutorial and some real visuals. It's TCC's The Moon.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any thoughts on it, great. If not, we'll move on.
What kind of effects can you achieve with it? Like, so on a mat, I imagine you have a coin, you show the reflection.
So Paul Harris, back in the day when Paul Harris was developing, he released an item called Twilight, and it's $50 on a table. You put the mirror on top of it, and when you pull it back, it looks like 2, and then there are 2. And that continues until there are 4, and they go back into each other, and it's a super visual. I think it'd be a great piece of social media. That's why I have it at home, but it's also been really in my world since 1988, I think, is when Twilight was released as a standalone manuscript. So if you want a great prop to do that routine, and if you're not familiar with it, it's in the Art of Astonishment volumes, which everyone should have.
Amen.
So yeah.
Not to bring up double cross, but I wonder if there's a way to do that effect with double cross on someone's hand. So you have their palm out, you've stamped them as you're, moving the hand or whatever, get the mirror there, draw one, and now pull it away. And now it looks like 2 crosses, pull the mirror away, boom, now there is 2 crosses. And then maybe the follow-up is that now you do it without the mirror, but now the cross is on the other hand that, was never playing this game.
I love the idea of doing it on your hand and using that visual to create another illusion. I don't recall seeing that before. And Josh Norbito, you are a sub-genius.
Well, I don't have one or have done it, but that's what when I think of roving and like how I might use something.
But that's what I was thinking. Is this prop in general is just cool, and it's it's produced for professional use. How do you carry a mirror around if you're going to use it? Well, here's a nice leather carrier, so your shit won't get banged up. And
I think the premise of the Twilight is interesting. People used to. I've only ever seen it done with a different take, if I may. It was Twilight Angels using the playing card, and you would use a highly reflective Zippo lighter to do the same effect.
Yeah, he did take it that way. Yeah, Paul, he originally had this idea as a shrinking cards. So this, I think, is also an Art of Astonishment. But if you do this, it looks like the card kind of shrinks. So for those at home, I got the mirror on the back of a deck of cards, and as I push forward, it looks like it gets smaller, and then you could pull it away, and it's a miniature card. I think he also had some restorations and things of that nature. But there's a marketed effect with the Angels that uses. I love the idea of a Zippo for that.
So the premise is interesting because you could use a Zippo that's highly reflective and ask them to like hold it in a certain way and then draw, like stamp as you like, because you could literally stamp someone's hand as you're drawing the other. But
Right.
and you got this big shield in front of you, so you could do a twilight effect like a double cross, but using something organic. And I half wonder if there's any kind of phone screen type of, those ones where like people can't see from your left or right. I wonder if there's any kind of phone screen things you could have where it's pretty much chrome until, like a mirrored chrome until the actual phone lights up and you can see your home screen. I'm sort of curious if there's anything like that on the market, because the principle still stands, and I think we'll call it the Twilight principle. I think there's something in that.
Yeah, I'm sold on that. Now I'm going to buy the Mylar card. Now I'm going to buy the mirror. I also wonder if Nick, like, I bet if anyone could do it, you could. I wonder if you could literally do the cloning of the coins on a spectator's hand. Like, I wonder if they would even feel, the extra bit of a coin behind the mirror before you reveal it,
Yeah.
Like, imagine doing that and then you're doing the spring and then, like, that would just be a fun extra visual that I've never explored. That could be a lot of fun.
How fortuitous is it that you could actually hide the Mylar card behind the mirror and then do the mirror Mylar card? So now we're there.
Yeah. All right. So now we're building an act out of these items, basically.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about doing a mirrored thing is that when you basically, when you're building a shield in front of someone, you can drop things behind them. You could stamp them. You could do whatever. You could ring something in, and it wouldn't be weird for you to put your finger on someone as you're actually holding, or get them to hold it themselves, and then you can sort of draw that, and then you.
Let me reiterate that I brought this home for social media. I think this is a great prop for that. I think all the ideas we've talked about would make banger videos. The use of a mirror is a great hook to open a scene with. You know how magicians do tricks with mirrors. And then you do anything with this, and you're off to a good start.
We have a guy called Dennis Kim.
Yeah, he is amazing. All right, last thing I'll say, I can just see this visual, and I might have to actually try and do this. Okay, imagine this. So you got the mirror. You're performing to, let's say, 4 people watching you stand up, right? Roving magic. Okay, right. So I'm performing there in front of me, little semicircle. The 2 people on the outer edge, one hand each, holding the edges of the mirror, almost like a crazy man's handcuff kind of setup, right? So they're still watching from this perspective, but their outer hands are now holding the mirror. You show a coin, and you do the classic, like, big illusion type thing. Both hands go in front. When your hands come back out, now there's 2 coins, because this one goes in front of the mirror, this one goes behind, right? Then you let them check the mirror. Now you've done your business to do it again. Now you show the 2 coins go in front. Boom. It looks like both hands have coins because they're seeing the reflection of the same hand. Come back out. Now you have 4 coins, right? And then you could do it with any item that you can basically palm.
Doing that stand-up is great.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're holding one side each, and they're seeing this visual of, and if you can psychologically influence them in the right way, you could be like, grab any object, right? And it's like the closest thing they can see is like the sugar packet on the table. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, use that. Bring that to me. And then you do that and you clone that into 2 things. Oh, I bet you'd love me to clone money. What? Who's got money? I could just see like a little.
Drago Tier was saying, like, would you use a bigger mirror? Now, if you let's just say for the sake of creativity, we use a larger scale mirror using this principle. Here's a fun thought, right? Like, just to gag it up. So you can put your hand in, and then as you pull your hand away, your hand gets smaller, right? And then you pull out both hands, and your hand behind is just this tiny little hand. Like this little Donald Trump.
I actually love the idea of this as
the baby hand.
Yeah.
Oh man, which is $40 now. Hanson Chin's new release. Oh man, the baby hand's $40.
Yeah, right.
Hanson getting it. I think the idea of that mirror effect as a stage illusion has merit. So that's worth thinking
Well,
about.
I mean, there is a stage version, right? The guy that did it on Fool Last and he now tours with it. It's really awesome. And he does big bags of money go in and they come out. But at the start of the act, he shows everything's clean.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good. But I've never seen anyone try it stand up roving. I got to get on this. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely buying the mirror now.
All right, that's a good one. I think this is really great because I think every 10 minutes we sort of press on. So we just hit the 20-minute mark, hit the next one. And then
just so we know the name of it, Doug, what is the name of this particular mirror?
The Moon. It was a TCC release. I know we got a few of them at the shop.
Okay, the Moon.
And one day, once I practice, you'll see that on my social media.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it, and I'll put up a clip eventually when that happens.
You know, speaking of coin magic, it was a coin trick that got me started in magic. When I was a young man, I had a grandfather that could do this trick with a coin, and he would make the coin vanish and then produce it from behind my ear. So I practiced that trick, and I got pretty good at it. I got so good at it, I could pull my ear from the coin.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those watching, instead of the coin disappearing and reappearing on the last time, his ear. The coin turned into his ear. Classic.
That was for Scotty P in the chat. Scotty P wanted the silicone ear, so this is always in my bag of tricks these days. Unscheduled appearance. We don't need to talk about it. We can move on.
But it is fun. That is fun.
Let's talk more about things that look fake, but look real, but are fake. And you mentioned using the Sharpie marker with the mirror. And I think this portable from Danny Weisner, is it Weiser or Weisner? Weiser. This is portable by Danny Weiser. It's meant as like a slap bracelet that you wear on your wrist. And I recall seeing Jason Maher use this in some of his mega viral videos. And I know we have these on sale, and I haven't even really looked at the props. So I thought beyond what he offers in the tutorial, which is kind of terse, maybe we could jam out a couple ideas for this thing. Kind of makes a nice visual vanish.
That's super visual. Like I'm just seeing that turn to nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So essentially it's a slap bracelet that looks like a Sharpie marker if you're listening at home.
Yeah. Well, that was my first intention. Like when I'd seen the product being demoed, it was presented as a slap bracelet, but those, to me, my immediate thought was like you could just make it vanish so clearly, like at the tips of your fingers, and I like that as an idea. And I think that if you're gonna vanish one, there's sort of whenever something goes, the question is where does it go? So the idea of like vanishing it and producing one, like here could be a fun idea, like producing a real one.
So for those unfamiliar with the product, he uses this as a transformation from a regular Sharpie into the slap bracelet, and the Sharpies, I don't think we're giving too much up. It's on a reel. So this goes up the sleeve, up the coat, down the pants, whatever you're doing, it goes away. This thing is introduced, and then bang, it's a slap bracelet now.
Is it printed on both sides, Tim?
Wow, it is, yeah. The back doesn't have marking, but if you were to do a switch and even some time misdirection, like he suggests the reel, and that's a pretty aggressive approach to this. I think you could switch this on the offbeat.
Could you have it so that you're actually producing it? So have it coiled up, but now you're actually doing it.
Right. I thought this would be a good, I haven't tried this, but yeah, if you could put it in a coin purse, maybe. So one of my favorite productions is the FPS wallet by Brent Braun. I use this thing all the time. You want a great product that produces a Sharpie? This thing is Brent Braun's FPS coin wallet. We do offer these at Trick Supply also.
Yeah.
Bang. That's a winner.
But that's the most ideal way.
Yeah, well, it's a good one. It's a good utility purse, but I'm saying if you don't want to use a gimmick purse, then this would allow you to start with a regular purse, and then Sure.
Oh,
come on now.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking that if you had it looped in your thumb, your hands could look relatively empty, right? And then you could just reach in and pull up and then show. Like, you know what I mean? So
and I just say, you could also do it the other way. You could be done with the Sharpie, just do a casual switch to the portable one while they're putting the cards away. Yeah, put the coins back in the purse and put the Sharpie back in the purse.
Some things to work out, but I'm sure that could be done. I think if your finger's in there to kind of loop it around as it goes in,
right. Or maybe you put it, maybe you actually put it behind the purse and it goes on your thumb, but it looks like it's going in maybe.
Oh, that works great.
Yeah.
I love using it on the thumb. That's a smart move.
How fun. The other idea I was thinking of pre-show was that the pen vanish in the napkin kind of thing, where you fold up the napkin, get the spectator to hold it, and then you would collapse it. You could pre-steal it.
I've got another. I got a weird thought. If you actually did that and you put a couple of bits of double stick tape on the front of it, you could actually stick that to something, and then when you snap, whatever it's actually stuck to, it also vanish and wrap up with it as well. So it could be something as simple as a tissue or some sort of wrapping.
It's also magnetic, so you can hold it out with magnets and employ those methods. Here I'm foreshadowing the next item, this magnetic popsicle stick, which I love, but it's my new favorite thing. But yeah, it's magnetic too for, holding it out under your coat or even ditching it.
Yeah, nice one. So from memory, when Jason Ma used it, I think he used it in a pretty standard way, that he started with it on his wrist. And I think he just peeled it off, and then he did a change into a real Sharpie, and kept going. Obviously, you can do it the other way around. They finish with the Sharpie. You do the Sharpie change where you just flip sticking one and the other is producing, and then just slap it on your arm. Obviously, that's great. But yeah, the idea of people never knowing that it's that gimmick, switching it into it so you can vanish it or appear it like an appearing straw kind of thing.
On sale now at Trick Supply, $12.99. When you order one, tell them you saw it on the Magic Guys, so they know we're working hard for the cause.
Hell yeah!
You know, you could do a vanish and then have eject, shoot another one in the air.
Oh, come on! That's good.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, that eject thing, man. I use it in every.
Are you loving it? Do you use it all the time still?
Yeah, we used it at Theatre Magic, used it at my corporate shows. It's just, it now makes it fun it just adds an extra bit that would normally just be you grabbing a Sharpie out of your jacket. But instead, it's boom. Let's use this.
It's only a matter of time before they make one for like the Magnum Sharpie for stage. They'll make a big boy. You know what I mean?
Well, here's something I noticed for anyone using it. These ones here. So the really big Sharpies, these ones that have like the push button, I use these on stage because now I don't have to deal with a lid, right? A lid and the spectators messing that up. So I bring these ones out because these ones are a little bit heavier and they're a little bit wider at the bottom. When you put this in the eject and you crank up the tension really high, you have to crank it up higher than normal because it is a heavier Sharpie. Instead of the regular Sharpies that fly out spinning, this one shoots out directly. It stays upright the whole time. So it's super easy to grab out of the box.
Really well
Whereas the smaller ones, you really have to practice being able to grab it in midair. And I've dropped them plenty of times, but this one shoots directly up. It's like perfect. It's just whoop, and you can just grab it. Something
you don't think about, but you got to practice catching Sharpies flying through the air. It's not a gimme, right?
Yeah. And you got to be careful how much you launch them because I have so many dents in my ceiling. So you just want to be careful if you're shooting it into like the chandelier of some sort of.
It's a good trick and nice self-defense.
Yeah. Okay. What do we have next?
All right, let me see. This is the idea, my latest idea with this thing. So it's with a penny. Screen. Yeah, put me on there. And I'm doing a trick with a penny, for God's sake. So if you can see at home, and there's not much you can do with pennies. There's not much you can buy with a penny. Although when I was a kid, I could buy something with a penny. I could buy an ice cream bar. It was just a little one, though. So this is the introduction for the Icecream Schtick paddle, which also includes a 1-cent rebate. Oh, it's back. And using this paddle, we can do moves like this, where the coin apparently goes from one hand back to the paddle. And then there's also a surprise reveal of this paddle, where apparently some of the chocolate melts to reveal essentially a playing card, but I don't like that. So I've been trying to think of other ways to finish this. The reveal will be white, and it will be smaller than this coin, which is hidden on this magnetic popsicle stick. So if you're not watching the video, I'm holding a miniature popsicle stick. It's magnetic, and it's hiding a penny on the back of it in this case, which is how I produced the stick with this spellbound move. And then using the paddle move, I'm able to show the stick clean, and then the penny appears. And then using the magnetic, I can also do like a false placement using the paddle move, and it comes back. So those are some of the ideas from the instructions. I think this little paddle trick is a gem with a lot of potential beyond what you're seeing in that final reveal as well. What do you think?
So my brain goes a few places. You could do the standardized sort of routine, but then you kind of want to take it somewhere. You could, I would actually like turn it into a popstickle, like the actual pop Hayden popsticle released by Do Scala, and like have the big one and just have a bite of it and wrap up the routine.
Yeah, you know, you could do this if you're using the popstickle sight gag, and if you're not, why not go buy one from Do Scala?
Yeah,
this would make a perfect tie-in.
Yeah, boy.
This little guy as a callback.
Yeah,
Josh has got his going. I don't have to be the only one on full screen.
Well, mine's
also,
in my kit.
I just quickly loaded up that big Sharpie to see if it will, if I can demonstrate what I've been saying about it shooting up straight. So let me give this a go. Okay, it didn't do what I said it would do that time. That's okay. Let me just try one more time here, like an idiot. All right, here we go. And there we go. So it stays in one plane. It like might deviate a tiny bit, but if I put a normal, I won't put a normal Sharpie in. It will put a hole in the roof. But
yeah, buddy.
Anyway, let me continue.
Dragon here was saying that you could shrink it with a mirror, which is interesting.
You can do it as a perspective illusion. You know, you could just be eating the thing and then do a swaparoo and then use the camera and be like, oh man.
Yeah, because you could have the popsicle in like a tenkai, you know what I mean, and then just do a rotation as it comes up, and yeah, that'll look.
Have we talked about the bomb stickle yet? I happen to have this on my desk from Do Scala. Did you guys get one of these?
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
One.
We'll circle back to the chocolate one. I got one, but these aren't common in Oz.
These aren't.
No.
I guess, but the red, white, and blue is kind of an American thing, probably.
That makes sense.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry to get off.
Yeah, I got this one as well. So I tell you what I've been trying to play with so far, because it's a little different in Australia with these. So I can't find the one that you've got there, Doug, but that's the one I've been trying out at the moment. And
so in Australia, that's just a phallic device.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm not really keen to just shove this in my mouth. So what I've been doing is, because in Australia it's starting to get pretty hot at the moment. So what I've been playing around with is producing this from my jacket, and then going, do you mind? It's a little hot at the moment. And then just starting to like rub it across my face and my neck, and just seeing if like that gets a reaction, as if like I'm trying to cool myself down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And just kind of like obsessively, like, because, you know, if you really were doing that with an ice cream, it would be super weird, or an ice block, because it's the other one's water-based. But anyway, that's what I'm kind of playing with at the moment. And I know this is going to, thank you, Dragateer. This is going to end up as a bad meme, I can tell. But yeah, so starting to play around with it.
Sora, also, replace ice cream with penis.
Yeah, excellent. If only I could do that with everything in life. since
I
we're
like
talking
to,
about,
also a follow-up gag to this. If you want to overdo it, you produce this, then you pull this out. You want one?
Well,
I got bomb
I
pops.
yeah. Well, I have a another thought is if you take the ice creams melt, so you could take Tobias's liquid kit and maybe have the ice cream, place your hand down, and then have it melt to liquid brown liquid, which you
Oh,
can then
dude, that would be a good tie-in. Either one
yeah.
of those items.
Seeing it so little and it makes that little puddle, I feel like that would kind of work pretty nicely if you were doing it at a table set, especially. And then you could sort of lean into doing something. You could maybe like go from melting it, turning it into a Hershey's, which they can give them, which I think it's something that he teaches, something of that caliber as well. Yeah, or getting a Schtick and turning it into a sort of lint ball that's on a stick or something like that nature. But like it can segue into something if you melted it using Tobias's liquefy. Liquid.
Do you have one of those? Either of you? Liquefy?
Yeah.
Have you used it? Tried it? Played with it?
I've only tinkered with it for parlor sets, but not for my rooming sets. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the other thing I'd put out there for that ice cream, the one Doug has, the magnetic one, is since it's a silly prop anyway, and we're talking about Juice Gala, why don't we Lucky Ladybug it? Like, why don't you stick a ladybug on one side, and now you've got an extra moment in the routine where you bring out the ice cream, you tap it, boom, you show it empty. Now you got to.
I've been chatting with Deuce Gala with Buck. I had an idea for making the ladybug a paddle trick, and so I've had this idea for making instead of cards with ladybug, it's a log. And it's kind of a fresh idea, and I'm letting the cat out of the bag, but fuck it, it's my idea anyway. So, my initial idea was based on a hot rod trick called Transpot by, I don't know, it's on the website, Johnson. But it's a vanishing spot with a hot rod force. So you show 6 colors, someone picks a color, and that spot vanishes from the paddle. And I just said, well, this could be a log, and it could be bugs. And now the ladybug trick is a log and a paddle. And I think Buck's still playing with some ideas. Recently, a rediscovery is Sawa published an idea with the paddle move and appearing ladybugs in his library of magic books. Great books. But if you want to kind of see this idea come to life, look there.
Hell yeah. So it's already in the ecosphere. I love it. Buck also sent me his extension pack of Lucky Ladybug where there's 4 cards now.
Oh yeah.
It's essentially it's just essentially if you want to be able to do 2 appearances of ladybugs, because now there's 4 cards, there's 2 that have it and 2 that don't have it. So you can do whatever frustration counts or Mexican turnovers or just double lifts or whatever to show that there was 4 of them, and then you can have 2 people essentially wave their hands over and
or start with 3 ladybugs and 1 vanishes and 2 remain.
Yeah, and this new version has instead of being logs, it's leaves on the back of it.
That's right, which is kind of nice.
Hey, Buck Owen, how happy are you? We're talking about your products for 30 minutes today.
Yeah, boy.
Dude, he makes good stuff. Good guy too. Deserves all the show.
Great guy.
Yeah, I love it. So lots of I like all the brainstorming and thinking that's going into not just what was already a great effect, but now this extension pack and playing with ideas that you've got with the making it a log is perfect. Like I'm saying, the ice cream could already work, and obviously it's an ice cream is silly to have a ladybug, but if you're going to make it into a log, bloody great.
$15.
Ice cream Schtick.
You can't buy a good trick for less than $20 anymore, but you can at Trick Supply. Ice cream Schtick. Terry LaGerould, he's a smart one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, what do you say we break it up with a gig story, friends, and just have a little palate cleanser?
Yeah. Let's get out of the garbage.
Let's do it.
So Gig Stories is a section of the show where we talk about things that have happened in our magical life, either from day to day or doing gigs. And Josh has a cool story to tell and video.
Yeah, well, it's simple, and it was just a plan that I had in mind, and I executed it, and fortunately it's on camera, so I can show you the proof. But to set the scene, I was at an event, and I invited these two people from the event to come and see the Theatre of Magic, because that's one of the beautiful things about having a ticketed show, is that when you meet people and they ask you, where do you normally perform, you have a place to, you know, tell them. So I invited them, and I knew I had like 3 weeks before they were going to be there. And this gentleman, his name's Jesse, great guy, and his partner Lara, I know that he's the director of a rum company. Right, they sell like a white rum. I tasted it at the event. It's great. So I'm like, okay, great. I know what I need to do. My plan was I'm going to order his rum and make it appear in the show, because I already do a thing where I make a bottle appear in the show. How cool would it be if it was his? So I immediately go online and I buy it. Ships to my house. I look at it. I'm like, ooh, this is it's short, but it's a little wider than I'm usually used to concealing. But I'm like, I have to do it. So, and I just patiently wait. It comes to the show. He doesn't arrive straight away. So I'm like, oh, I hope I haven't done all this. And like, he might miss the first part of the show or not turn up or whatever. But he turns up, and him turning up almost as we're about to start makes it even a little bit better, because now he just has like even less assumption that like I might include. No one would think it anyway, but like now there's just less anything that I might do something knowing he's here specifically. So I'm in the show. I tell my friends, I tell Nigel, Sean Mergard that's there, like this whole thing, and I pull out the rum, and they're all excited. They're like, oh my God, this is so good. This is going to be so good. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, they might not react at all, and it doesn't matter, and you know, it's fine. I'm not even going to bring it up that it's his rum. I'm just going to do it as a little wink, you know, a little head nod, move on with the show. But what I can say is I did it. I made it appear in the show, and he definitely noticed, and I couldn't have asked for a better response. So yeah, I'm going to play this moment. So what you're going to see is me with a bandana, and I'm doing like my coin routine, and like David Stone coin routine, where at the end, in like 7 seconds into when I hit start, you're going to see this bottle appear. And I've got two cameras. I've got the footage of me, and I've got Nigel's phone filming the guy, so you can see it simultaneously. Anyway, here it is. Allowed a moment of misdirection to bring the coin back behind my elbow, or as a kid behind my ear, or for tonight to celebrate with a nice bottle. Oh yeah! Thank you. That normally happens at the end of the show, but I appreciate that.
Nice.
Ta-da! And then I gave it away to someone, boxed it up, gave it away to the person that was helping throughout that routine. And then it was like a little callback to the rum. And for anyone listening to that on Spotify, it probably just edited out all that background noise, but you can see it on YouTube. Basically, he stood up and gave an immediate standing ovation, like, 7 minutes into the show. So I think he noticed.
That's a legit, real magic moment. It's like miracle class. So deserved.
I think, yeah, I think that just the lesson for me to remember is like anytime I can get some info on someone who's coming to the show and I can use that info in some way, do it, It's the element of surprise is the same feeling as magic. So it's like a watermelon just appeared under a hat for him. It's like, oh my God, like.
I just finished reading a book called Unreasonable Hospitality. It was written by the guy who I forget his name, but he like had 11 Madison Avenue, which was the #1 restaurant in the world in New York, and basically it's like a magic. Like his methods that he does to run the place are effectively magic. Just by overhearing people and observing people, he will purposely have things in place to ensure that they have an amazing experience. So one thing that he would do, right, is there was like a bunch of foodies that came in. I said, you know what? We've tried every Michelin restaurant in New York, but we're flying off. The only thing we haven't done is we didn't bother getting like a $1 hot dog from a hot dog stand. And so he heard that, ran down the street, grabbed like 4 hot dogs, brought them back to the chef and said, plate these up pronto. And then was like, look, I know you haven't tried your hot dogs yet, so here they are. And they like gourmet them up and gave it to them. So just those little moments of like knowing your audience when they're coming in. And he talks about this whole process with regards to like just having tons of stuff prepared. And so I've started to think of ideas. I'm like, okay, I should just keep one cupcake for every show, just in case it's someone's birthday, and then go, boom, happy birthday. And we all sing happy birthday and give it to them. Like when someone rocks up with their luggage to eat, they're either just arrived and that's the first place they're going, or they're about to fly out and it's the last place they want to go. So identify that. And if they're about to leave, look, the food in the plane's going to suck. This is on us. Take this with you. So you got something nice to eat in the plane. And all of a sudden their customer experience is like through the roof. So short of stalking, think about it and know what you can bring to the game. If you know the special people are coming to your show is the lesson. So
yeah, the other thing you can do is when you meet people after the gig, just write down little notes of like specific things so that if you get booked for that event the next year, you have some ammo, ready to go. There's a magician that gave some crazy fire advice to me, which is like at a gig, they will do an effect. I can't give it away because it's not really, I don't just have permission to do this, but like he will get a bunch of information from a person for an effect, but he won't reveal all of the things that he got information of. So it's like he'll get them to write down like 3 things and he'll reveal one of them, for example. And the other 2 things he'll keep a note of for next time he sees them in like 6 months. So that if he can segue into them thinking of something, now it's in real time. No writing stuff down, nothing, and just boom.
Yep.
So that's power. Yeah.
Yep.
Preparation is power, baby.
All right, shall we circle back and get creative? Because one of the things that Doug said was we should bring one thing from our drawers / cupboards that maybe the people may not know about. So I would like to share a little something that I do quite regularly. So let me share this with you guys. So whenever you're producing a jumbo coin, someone inevitably is going to go like, oh, was this filled with chocolate? Like it just happens all the time. And so like there's a cool little gaff you can get where you can do this and you can show that there is chocolate inside, and just by like sealing it up like so, you can then give it back to them and away you go. Right? It's awesome. Now, this is a little gaff made by how we've not had him on the show yet. We're going to have to ask him, beg him to come. Bizzaro. It is called Foiled Again. So when I was in Vegas, I knew this existed. And so I said, hey, man, like, I know you do this thing with chocolate. Can you hook a brother up? And he goes, yep. And so I'm going to assume that Bizzaro, I know he pops into the shop. Would you have these on hand at Trick Supply?
I have them in the counter in the showroom. Foiled Again. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. I cannot recommend this enough, especially if there's kids. And it's a great way to end stuff. So, like, because I do a lot of stuff where, like, I hand the chocolate out and then I take this, I peel back the foil, and I just go, cool, you guys have fun. I'm going to go have my treat. And I just walk away with the chocolate exposed like this and just walk away from the situation. So, this for the money is a banger, man.
Good recommendation. This is Bizzaro's version of a Paul Harris idea. He put the idea for a chocolate coin in one of his early books. It's in The Art of Astonishment. Wow, who doesn't have Art of Astonishment? And a good version of this Michael Weber published. I think he called it Peeler or something like that. Is where you take a piece of a magazine and you peel back the top cover. Like if it's a car magazine, you're like, yeah, you can look at the engine underneath, and you peel it back, and there's the image of a car underneath the car cup. Yeah, so there's other applications for this idea.
You know what this makes me think of? Separate to food. Someone's got to make like an iPhone version where you can peel back the back of someone's phone, and it's like all these like
that's
spyware things or something.
Yeah, man, that'd be a banger.
I've seen Tobias.
Go ahead.
I've seen Tobias do it with a coin. He does this whole bit where he like has a coin, then he like opens it up and then closes the coin back up again and gives it out like like it's an electric coin that does all kinds of stuff. Alex is asking if it comes in a normal dollar size. I have seen someone release it recently, this type of effect where you can do it with a normal size dollar, but in my opinion, it's so small that the squeeze ain't worth the juice. But with the jumbo, it is.
Yeah.
People by nature understand that, like, there is, like, I mean, it's an existing product. Like, big chocolate coins are a thing. So
Yeah, makes sense. I like it.
Yeah.
And we need to get Bizzaro on here. Like, he's a brother. I see him a lot. He comes in the shop, you know, even if he just needs a thumb tip, he'll come pick it up at Trick Supply instead of ordering it online because he's just a bro, you know. So it's like always great to see him. I don't know that there's a nicer guy, and wow, what a creative force.
Yeah.
Late Night Magic opening back up this month at the Magician's Room in the Link. They built a whole room for magic on the Link Promenade. Farrell Dillon's moving there. Darkstone show. He's going to do some illusions. The Late Night Magic show, and also the Conjurers are coming back to town to work that room. It's exciting, right?
Damn, it's all happening over there.
You know, a whole room for magic. You know, showroom devoted to magic is, I think, just great. All day long magic shows, and the late night show is a killer.
Stellar idea. All right, so Josh, what are you going to share with us today?
Look, man, I mean, to be honest, my Juice Gala, the extension pack was the thing I was going to bring up. But I do also have this, which is I've never used an actual trick. This is this is not even a trick. It's just you literally just buy this fidget spinner toy, but like it's essentially a two-sided Rubik's Cube. The edges have colors on them as well, but you can spin it. And so I've used this for a trick once in a video where I started by showing this, came back, put a silk over it, boom, and now it's a real fully sized cube. But I don't know, like there's got to be a way to incorporate this somehow, which would be a bit of fun, right?
Like, yeah, I mean, because like tinkering with a cube isn't too reminiscent of fidgeting with a spinner, you know? Like there's a correlation between that. I'm sure you could bridge that gap and have an effect. That's actually a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, like, and I know Henry Harris has the wafer cube out now, which is great too. But maybe there's something where like as this is spinning, you're talking about something, and in this hand, maybe you are actually starting to solve it before this stops, or you know, there'd be some kind of visual to play with. I always see it sitting on my desk, but I never take it out into the battlefield. I just
Steve Fearson had a method for floating fidget spinners, you know, using his mega hookup, floating cigarette hookup.
Right.
If you've seen people float coins or rings, that's basically Steve's, you know, lineage, and doing a fidget spinner makes perfect sense.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe like you give it to the spectator like this, and you're like, I bet I can solve this big one before you can solve this small one or something. You know, so they're like this, and you're like, too late. I don't know. Yeah,
that is funny.
Actually, maybe you do the bag gag where you have two solved ones, but they think it goes in. You know the gag. You make them think there's an extra one. Maybe while they're quickly doing that, you just shove mixed one in the bag, pull out the solved one. See, I did it. They're like, no, you didn't.
Yeah. Or if you have the thin one, you put it on top, and it blows up into a bigger one. Like you can. Yeah. You know, some sort of like. Yeah. Totally. So just a bit of a surrealist thing. Benjamin Cox here says that I have a sponge cube, and at the end of my Rubik's Cube routine, when they ask to check it out, I do the change and pass them a sponge cube, and it freaks them out. That's a clever idea, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you could also have one that's glued together and doesn't move. So like you give that to them. I don't know if that enhances anything, but like it's kind of funny saying to someone, can you mix up the cube, and they can't because it's glued, but then you bring it back and you're like, what the hell? Like, yeah, just do that. That could kind of be funny. Yeah, sponge cube is great. There was a great trick at Magic Live which involved the beginning part of the routine. When you hand it out, the cube just explodes when they go to mix it up. That's kind of funny. What? It just all falls apart. Like every piece just goes. Poof.
Yeah, I have I was privy to see a very cool gaff. In order to allow people to mix cubes behind their backs, I'll chat to you off air because I can't. I don't have the permission to to share exactly what that is. But let me share something fun with you once I get off the air. And let's circle back while we have, a good 6 minutes left. What do we have in the bucket, Doug?
For sure, I wanted to talk about this thing. I've had the pleasure of meeting some local social media really icons. Magic has been in the shop. This guy's got 12 million followers, I think, on TikTok, and another 6 on YouTube. And then Rodrigo, they've been filming with Matt Franco.
What?
So if you're on Matt Franco's feed and you see a couple other magicians, media, magic, energy, you get a guy like with 12 million followers, he knows what he's doing. Rodrigo was in the shop, and he had this idea for a video in a coffee shop, and he wanted to have a napkin come to life. So we discussed some options for electronic thread reels. There's some interesting things out there. And I discovered this one, and I had this idea for doing a trick with a tissue where if a magician has to sneeze. I was playing with hookups. You saw me at the beginning of the stream. I think I just figured out this one where I can use the coffee cup. So there's the tissue box. Now let's see if I can get this. Oh, nope. Let's try again. Almost. Let me try it again. Let me do it one more setup. Hey, Murphy's Law, and I've never practiced this. So I'm going through. This is an electronic thread reel on a 12-inch silk. The silk is going into the box, and it was probably tucked in the box too tightly. What I'm looking to do is get 2 movements from the silk. So I want it to fly away from me towards the cup and then come around and then come back, and then I would sneeze.
That's great.
Could you have a, oh, you can't because you've got to trigger it from your hand, but I was thinking like, could you have it hooked up so that then you can press it again and it flies off because it's still rigged to the next bit?
Can I share
quite a bit of rigging?
Just so you know what it is, it's a one-trick pony. It's got a button. It works by batteries, and there's a safety pin at the end of this. If I don't have any rigmarole, it's great. It's just like zippy as boom. It's a great little electronic reel.
Yeah, there was one. I only ever did this once, which just upsets me because I guess I don't have the environment to perform it. But this is going to be great because I might try and put this into a theater or magic show at some point. But what's really cool is if you do have a high ceiling, a large scale stage, you can do a bit with the balloon. Like for example, you could do like gypsy balloon, do all your shtick, and then you could have that balloon fly away. And because it's attached to that thread, when you activate it, that balloon will now come back to you.
I feel like that's a valid idea, but this thing has one speed just for this reel anyway, and it's go fast.
Right.
So for a balloon effect, probably not. If you want the most awesome bill snatcher in existence, it's this.
Right.
But what else?
Like what else could you attach it to?
Yeah.
How about you knock something over with it? So could you have it like relatively loose so that it's doing this type of thing flat, and then you have maybe just like a pencil or a glue stick, something that's going to stand up vertically, and then when you can reference it, the tension of it will just knock it over.
Like the empty plastic bottle.
Yeah, so you just put this pen here. So you have like, let's say that make like a V shape, and then just by pressing it, like it'll just.
Oh, it's not animating an object; it's triggering secret action. Oh, Nick, you're a genius.
So you got to
have it anchored to the table, and then you loop it around the bottle, so it'll pull the
just in a V shape.
Pull it tight.
Yeah. So
obviously you can do a rising card with it too. If you have it anchored to the table, the glass is in front of it.
Well, let me talk about the rising card for a second. I read a great one earlier today. I'll share a little. Here's a thought I had. This is, again, untested, but if you had a handkerchief in your coat and it was out, and if it hit the floor, now theoretically, there it went. So now it's on the floor, and when you need it back, it gets back up there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot, especially if you put a bigger nodule thing on where you need to press, so you can easily trigger it from in your pocket.
Yeah, this is pretty tiny, getting into it through the fabric, but
that's the idea of having a pocket hang, like dabbing your head for a second, throwing it up, and it goes back in.
Right.
Like that's a great running gag.
Yep.
It looks really strong. I just wonder if there could be some sort of propulsion in it as well. Because
love the idea of using it secretly.
Well, here's the thing. If you were to anchor it to let's just say like to the camera, okay, so it's looking back at you and it's here. If you press it and lock it, is it tension at that point from now on?
It just unwinds. It's
So
loose, and then it just reels it up.
Okay, so I want you to hold it between your hands just so I can understand how this works. So if you pull it so there's slack in between it, okay?
Yeah.
And now hold the silk.
Yeah.
Push the button, but hold it tight. Don't let the and stop.
Yeah. Okay. I see. So it's like, it's like a
okay.
So but maybe I'm over here and I'm like, so it's like a psychic silk.
Right.
Okay.
And so what you could also do is you just have that as an anchor point, right? Now, what you can do is you can anchor that to something, a table or whatever else. You've got this connection to you. You could do a bit. If you have like a folded billet, a bill would work really nicely as well. You could tear the bill in the center and then put it on the thread. And then what's cool about it is if you walk away from it because it's tensioned, it'll stay in place. Right? And then when you want it to go down,
there's no tension. It just
once you press the button.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There is tension once you press the button. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So now what you could do, if it's anchored here and it's tensioned, you can actually just clip the thread going from here through. You can clip it with your hands and then gesture it to go down.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of anyone who studied Masika's type of work on this would And
then this has got to be just a practical, easy, fun, magical thing to do. Benjamin says, I've used mine with a paper plane. Looks pretty cool on big stages.
Paper
How goes
plane.
that? Off stage, your assistant's got the trigger. You make a plane, just gently blow on it, flies off.
I feel like for $50, this thing is that much fun. It's worth considering. When you buy this from Trick Supply, the batteries will be dead. So you got to invest in some AAA batteries. This is new old stock, and it's a little gem. It's not maybe for everyone, but if you need to make something jump around, you can spend $100 or $350 on a thread reel, but $49.95 to goof around. Maybe if nothing else, you'll just have the world's best dollar snatcher.
And the last thing,
remember, mention the podcast when you order.
Please do. We're really interested to know how this moves the needle. When we recommend.
Yeah, and then I could hit up Wolfgang for some scratch. How about some support for the pod, Wolf?
Some giveaways.
Yeah, giveaways. That's all we want.
Absolutely. The last thing we didn't consider, and if you just want to add a little bit of spooky magic to your work, if you're a card guy and you're doing a close-up set on a table, chuck the box into a card box and rig it up so that when you're done with your card, you can be like, oh, where's the box? Oh, it's over there. And then it just comes to you. Well, I guess you'd switch it around, right? You'd have the Matchbox in your hand, but you'd have it connected to you'd have it tied to the box. Boom. So the cards could really come out of it to begin with. And as you sit it down, you're now undoing the thread reel. And so to come back, you can just trigger it from your suit jacket pocket or whatever. Comes back to your hand, put the cards back in. That's a fun bit.
Look, I know we're already over, but I wanted to talk about this. It's cool. I read it today, and maybe someone will find this useful. You're talking about it now, rising cards in a card box. So here's the deck of cards. Your card is in here. This is an ungimmicked deck going into an empty box, and one of these cards is your card. I'm going to make it rise out of the box. Here it comes. And there is your card. So it's an ungimmicked deck going into an empty box. You just give it a few shakes, and one card rises from inside the box. That card can be cleanly removed and handed to the spectator. And I think that's just a banger, rising cards out of the box.
Have have you tested that to see what like an audience how they react to it?
I literally read it earlier today in this book, Concerto for Pasteboards.
Nice.
And let's do a little tutorial. I don't think Wary would mind. This is Wary. He's a old German creator. Here's the remnants. It's a little piece of double stick tape right there at the
Front end of the box
cutout.
Yeah.
So I control the card to second from the face, so the audience sees this going in, and then squeeze so the tape adheres. And then this action of just shaking it makes that card elevate out. Sometimes cards behind it, and then you can just push down and clean. So I love this little
self-working, man. That's self-working. I love that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a fun. Yeah, that's really fun. I mean, that's just as like fun as like if you do that thing where you cut the hole out of the front of it, so it's coming out from the back.
You can do both.
And you're pushing your finger up, and it opens the lid, and
it's just fun. And you could also probably do like 4 aces. So you could do like 1, 2. If you wanted to make it a 4 of a kind revelation. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, free lesson today. You can also get Concerto for Pasteboards.
You know who's going to love this? You know who's going to love this? All the old people who have the shakes in the Magic Club, like all the 70-year-olds.
That's why I'm doing it. That's me. I'm there now.
If I keep my hand still, one card will rise up, and their hand just naturally does this anyway. That's pretty great.
Anyway, that's what you get for sticking around the whole podcast. Good magic ideas.
So go buy it all. Go buy the mirror. Go buy the Mylar card. Put it all together. Create an act. Send it to us. We'll push for you to be on Fool Us.
We didn't even get to talk about cards in face.
Oh my God. Oh, this is good. Next time.
Next time. We'll talk about it next time.
The Magic Guys. You guys have been awesome. See you later.
Thanks for listening. It's time for us to disappear now. But we'll see you again on the next episode of The Magic Guys.